Okay, welcome back to the action here. This is Formula V Nationals time. This is now Heat 2 for the weekend. And for 15 minutes plus one lap, see cars making their way back onto the track here, led by Michael Kinsella. And also I'd like to welcome back Steve DeFries, who's also come back here, our Victorian delegate here on commentary here this weekend. And we're about to run through the grid as we saw beforehand. Let's have a look at how they're going to line them up here on pole position. It'll be Michael Kinsella alongside of him with Dan Reynolds. Well, they're the dominant pair so far in the shortened race that we did see here in race one. Let's go back to Curtis Porter. Alongside of him will be Simon Pace. Really looking like the dominant four already so far in this early part of the program.
I would throw Alex McDonald probably into that one as well, Mark, because he did actually start to play a bit of catch-up in the back half of that shortened race. So he's probably another one to just sort of throw into that top five, I think. But he's got a little bit on the back foot. Andre Curran, who started in third place in that first race, he's sunk a little bit. He's lost 3 spots, so he's got to gather it back up. And then Corey Ogden gained 3, so he's moved up to 7th. And Alex Henderman starts out of 8th.
So they're top 8 there on our staggered grid. Then we go back to Aaron Pace alongside him. Heath Collison did a pretty good job to get himself inside the top 10 of the previous race. Obviously a shortened affair. Alex Bezic back there in position 11. Let's go back alongside of him with Jason Fowler. Then we go back to Ash Clifford. Ben Forgan, the first of the South Australians, multiple state champion here in SA. Then we go back to Rod Lisson, the Western Australian, back to a bit further. Then we go Matt Harriott, Xavier Babbage, hockey in 18th position. Then we go back to Nathan Clifton, Darren Power, Cam Bell, Grant Kelly, Troy Forensko, the South Australian. Then we go back to Chris Beam in position 24. Ed McPhail. Then we go back to Mark Moore and Michael Lloyd, the Western Australian. Rob Vile, Reece Rowland, Ken Ray, Peter Butler, and John Rickstein back there, car number 2 in position number 32. And we get these are all the 1600 class. We go back to Kathy Lisson, who didn't had the issues in the previous race, and Adam Bezic and Adam Henderson obviously did not finish. Then we go back to our 1200 class. Well, a surprise victor there. Matty Pearce comes up with victory in race 1 in the 1200 class. Steve Butcher, obviously red hot favourite in this class. Then we go back to Richard Gray, did a pretty good job recovery also in that class. So some interesting results in the 1200s. And Baxter Midwinter alongside him, the veteran here in SA, Frank Chessel. Then we go back to Hugh East, Matthew Bialek and Julian Midwinter, who did not start in the previous race. Hopefully we might see that blue and white machine back out here for Heat 2, I should say.
He did have some issues in practice as well in the number 66, Julian Midwinter, so maybe some recurrence of some of those gremlins that might have crept in from the Friday practice session. He came back under a very sort of tick-over power, I guess you could call it, halfway through the day and didn't take part in most of the Friday practice running, so he'll be off the rear of the grid if he is indeed going to start this one. And you mentioned there, surprise winner Matthew Pearce over the very heavy favourite in Stephen Butcher, who's won multiple ones of these over the course of the years, the many years, I guess, he's been competing in Formula V. There he is just on the left side of your shot, just taking up his grid position at the back there. And the yellow flags will slowly be withdrawn as everyone comes into position. So good, quick form up this time around. When you look down there on the helmet of the number 78, the Paul Corcoran prepared checkmate, Daniel Reynolds. He's going to be starting on the front row yet again. Pole sit-up, finished second in that first race. Pretty even jump between the two of them at the start of the first race. Is that going to be a repeat again this time around? It's just the roles reversed. They've just swapped sides on the grid this time around. And there he is, the man who was adjudged the winner of the first race and another one of the very heavy favourites in the 1600 class this weekend, Michael Kinsella. Eyes focused very much on turn 1.
Looking pretty cool and collected, isn't he? All focused and ready to do it again. 4 times national champion, as you mentioned earlier, Michael Kinsella. It's a well-produced car. We've seen him many times at national series rounds or national championships. If you hear lights are up and they're out. So let's have a look to see who gets the jump. The car scattered left to right here.
I think Kinsella's got the high ground there. He actually had a little bit of a better reaction time there. I think he's got that one covered at the moment down towards turn 1. Very, very smart as they come up and over the rise. It's Simon Pace, who's actually had a pretty decent start there too. He's actually moved up a spot. That's the second time in as many races he's had a really good launch from the row of the grid behind the cars in front. He moves through to second, but all but briefly. Here comes the 67, the opposite lock entry of Curtis Porter from Queensland. He's looking down the inside of the number 50 at turn number 3, but he can't get it done. So Pace will hang on for P2 just for the moment.
Terrific start there from Pace. That's the Simon variety, of course. So the 35 in front, so that's Kinsella, Pace, And then it's Curtis Porter in the checkmate there. He's on the inside there, down at turn 6.
Reynolds, very authoritative pass there at turn number 6. Wanted position number 2 back straight away on Simon Pace. No quarter given. The two checkmates were running 2 and 3. Now they've gone back the other way around as they were at the start of this race. Porter's just dropped back into 4th place quite happily here. And then you've got the 51, Alex McDonald from Queensland. He's another one of those top 5 that we threw in a few seconds ago. Good start for Corey Ogden yet again. He's picked up another spot. That's over the number 32 of Andre Curran out of Victoria. The Renault-inspired Formula 1 livery there in the number 32 back there in 7th place. So he hasn't had 2 good starts so far for the first 2 races this weekend, has Andre Curran.
Front pair just starting to dominate already with Kinsella and Dan Reynolds there. Reynolds right on his hammer too, not letting Kinsella get away too far at all. Pace is just doing the chasing at the moment, just behind him. So those top 3, just that little bit of a break. Oh, just gets the nose up on the inside there, Reynolds.
That's just a reminder, isn't it? Just to say, I'm here, don't close the door on me just yet. I'm going to make you earn this one. Good little skip-away group here. There's about 7 or 8 cars in this top little group. This is Alex McDonald. He's on his fellow statesman here. The 2 Queenslanders will go side by side into turn 17. Gee. That's very awkward.
Got a bit awkward there, that's for sure.
Got a little bit of that inside curb that maybe just dipped a wheel behind the curb at turn 17 there. Just upset the 51 momentarily. He has to slot back in to position number 5. He might be a little bit vulnerable here to the 71, Corey Ogden, who, as we said, has had a pretty decent pair of starts so far. Someone wide in the background there at turn 18. Lots of dust kicked up. That'll be blown away pretty quickly by this southwesterly that's coming across the circuit at the moment, as the lead at turn number 1 seized by Daniel Reynolds in the 78.
He got through nicely there under Michael Kinsella. Just looking at Simon Pace, just biding his time. He thought he might have had a bit of an opportunity there. He just holds back and gets back in that third position. Plenty of laps to go yet, so he'll just bide his time.
Opened a nice little margin here as well. It's just starting to get a little bit larger at the moment. Porter's realising that's the situation. He needs to go here, but he's being challenged all the way by Alex McDonald. Oh, late decision. Very late decision under brakes there at turn number 6. Porter had to leave him a little bit of room, and they get through pretty cleanly there. And he comes out with a much better line out of turn number 6, able to get on the power that little bit earlier. But that was a very late decision from the 51.
Ogden and Quinn just behind them too, so they're not too far away from that pairing either. Ogden's done a terrific job. He's made his way through the field too. The little orange machine there, you can see their car 71.
He started 10th in race 1, got up to 7th. He's now up to 6th, so good progress in the Corsica there.
Don't see too many Corsica chassis Formula V racing in Australia at the moment.
No, definitely not. Very rare sort of a chassis. There's, I guess, for a long time you sort of look at each of the different states and they're all sort of dominated by different forms and makes of car. You know, New South Wales has been Jacer territory for a while. It's been Sabre territory in Victoria for many, many years, but that's sort of very slowly changing. Speaking of the devil, 2 Sabres, 02's coming under increasing threat here from an 01. That's the 41 machine back there of Alex Henderman, who started out of 8th place. He's lost a couple here, as Aaron Pace and Heath Collinson have managed to go past at the beginning of this race. And there's a nice little group of 3 here into turn number 17. The number 22 there was having some gearbox trouble in Friday practice yesterday. They missed the last session, but all changed out, all ready to go again, and qualified relatively strongly in the this morning's hit out for the even-numbered cars, alongside Heath Collinson there, and making some good progress here in race number 2.
They're trying to sort themselves out there in the back of the pace. It's 9th, 10th. Where are we? That's 9th and 10th position, isn't it?
That is 9th and 10th.
Yeah. Oh, I've changed the lead too at turn 1 again, if you don't mind. And Michael Kinsella up on the inside there of Dan Reynolds. Still Simon Pace. And then Curtis Porter. Yeah, I was just about to say there, Steve, there's a bit of weird squealing going on in the background there.
Plenty of tyre protesting from the Dunlops going round turn 1, 2 and 3. That little gap at the front there is closed up as well. We talked about it. This particular shot a lap ago, the gap was starting to open up. So Curtis Porter's got his skates on here. He realised that there was going to be a bit of an issue if he didn't leave it any longer, and he's now caught up to the back of that leading group of 4. And McDonald still trying to go with them. He's still within touching distance here. With still plenty of time on the clock. 5 minutes is a long time in Formula V racing. And as they head down through this long series of right-handers, down through turn 8, turn 9, turn 10, all the way downhill, and then through this really awkward change of direction, then up the hill going towards the very impressive turn number 13. The big 5 metre elevation rise. Probably one of the best corners, I think, on the circuit. The real challenging corners on the circuit with the blind exit. You've really just got to commit yourself to this corner. You can't go too wide over here without really forcing someone else off the track. Just watch that inside curb on the right-hand side. Don't get fed off into the gravel trap that awaits you. And the top 5 really committing to turn 13 quite handsomely there. And through they now come into what you call the stadium section here, where you can see quite nicely from the top of the grandstands here at Shell V-Power Motorsport Park.
I was just having a close eye on that 51 car, Alex McDonald. He was crawling over the back of Porter there. Just the back of the shot. Oh, geez, I think he got a bit too close for comfort there. Just see the back of that 5-car train.
Porter went defensive going into turn 17, so Alex decided he wanted to switch sides there. In actual fact, he got really good drive out of turn 17, so it's to Porter's detriment that he went defensive into 17. Slower off, and Alex right around the outside, and that's not a pass you would see every day at 17.
Here we go again for the lead. This time we've got Dan Reynolds on the inside of Michael Kinsella. That seems to be the passing opportunity. You've got to be on the inside of that turn.
Have a look
at pace.
And behind them as well, Ogden and Andre Curran. I think there might be a swap of positions back there as well. We'll keep an eye on both sets of battles at the moment. And you can see there, Reynolds now back to the lead of the race and trying to take it out hard. Porter back down the inside of Alex McDonald, who I think made a little bit of a mistake at turn number 3. He's dropped back into 5th place. There he is, back at the back of that little queue.
He has. He did get in front there, but just dropped that position. This is a big passing opportunity down here at turn 6. Heavy on the brake pedal here. There's Porter on the inside of pace. So that's another position change to get himself up into 3rd position. Nicely done. Went in nice and hot there, and he's managed to pull it up and get around the outside to get up into that position.
McDonald got a really good slingshot out of turn 6 by taking a really wide line, trying to avoid the number 50 of pace. But he just unfortunately couldn't do anything with it because the racing line is naturally off to the driver's right, so he just had to tuck in behind. But he definitely got a really nice run through there when Porter was going down the inside of the number 50. He tried to take advantage going the outside, but it didn't quite work for him.
So we're back in shot again. The 2 dominant pair of this early stage of this championship. And here they go again. So it's still Reynolds and Kinsella. That's turn 13.
A bit further back in the pack here, this is the number 16. This is Matt Harriott. So he's leading a nice little car train here. The Xavier Babbage Hockey, Rod Lisson from WA tucked in here as well. And just can't see who the 4th car in the queue there is, but they are chasing, I think it's the Queenslander of Matthew Bode, who's about 2 seconds up the road by the looks of things. And ahead of Matt Bode, it looks like it might be Jason Fowler in the Giant Mandurah car from Western Australia.
Geez, a few Western Australian names in that group. There's plenty of them here. Heavily involved in this championship. There's the 16 car we were just talking about.
Yep, Xavier Babbage Hockey giving chase to him. So he's actually been dovetailing some duties this year. He's actually got the AU4 championship car as well that he's been doing, but he's dived back into Formula V for this weekend. We're going back in the AU4 next weekend. I believe it's at Sydney Motorsport Park. There's a round of the championship up there. So foregoing the Malala Masters next weekend in favour of getting back into some much faster machinery.
Slightly faster.
Slightly faster.
A bit more technical, I would say.
Yeah, a little bit more committed, isn't it? Full aero on those cars, not like these ones where it's a lot of driver skill involved in Formula V, but you can rely on the aero in the Formula AU4 cars a little bit more.
That's what I say. We're talking about skill. That's exactly what it is in this class. You know, they're fairly similar style car. There's no aero package on these cars, and absolutely score, a big break score there. That was all around. That's Nathan Clifton. That is the South Australian driver there.
The number 94, goes for a bit of an excursion there. Just overcooked it a little bit into turn number 1. The first year club president has coughed up not only a spot to Rod Lisson there, but he's also coughed up about 6 or 7 more, I would say. But getting going pretty quickly after that little spin at turn number 1.
So we're back up the front again. Just have a look at Curtis Porter. He's become a part of this front pair all of a sudden.
Yeah, he's a legitimate threat now in this battle for the win. So these are national competitors on the national stage, not just National Challenge, but they've spent many years racing each other quite regularly over the course of the Formula V Australian Series. The last time we saw these guys go together, I believe, was actually at Calder Park. He actually took a win on his birthday, Curtis Porter, in that number 67 Sabre 02. So he knows what it's like to pilot that machinery to victory lane, no doubt. And if he can stay with this 2 pair out in front, the multi-time champs, he is definitely a threat this weekend. They've kicked away this leading group. they've got a handsome, nearly 2.5 second lead, I would say, coming out of turn 16 down to the final two corners.
It's going to be a very interesting finish. We're just about towards the end of this race. I reckon there'll only be another lap to go. So it's going to be a mad scamper inside the last lap.
Check out the lap times as well. These three have dived into the 2-minute 12s. We were 2-minute 13s in qualifying. We're now into the 2:12s in this class. So the pace at the front is absolutely incredible. They are leaving Simon Pace and Alex McDonald for dust at the moment. There's a big 2-second differential in the lap time just alone between the leading three cars and the next two.
Reynolds has just got that little bit of a gap, but for how much longer? Got Michael Kinsella around the outside here at turn 1.
Oh, it's 3 wide
what
nearly.
About Porter? Oh, gee, he got a bit squeezed out there.
Yep, for a minute it was nearly going to be 3 wide into turn number 1. Yep, he was the one that had to pull out of it there. And Kinsella emerges with the high ground. This will probably be the last lap, I would say. We have gone time certain in this, so we've ticked off 5 laps, so it'll be a 6-lap journey, and it shows no signs of abating at the front. It is a race in 3.
And this is it. This will be their last lap. Down to 6 they go. I'm still looking at that 67 Curtis Porter entry there. All around the outside there for Reynolds. Not going to be quite close enough. Oh, gee. Couldn't get that much closer down there on the exit.
No, how close do you want your nose-to-tail action in Formula V? There's nothing separating these three at the front. It'd be a bit remiss of us not to mention what's going on in the 1200 class. It's still Matthew Pearce there ahead of Stephen Butcher, but that's quite some considerable margin behind this battle for the 1600s out in front at the moment. Now down to the back section of the circuit. Left hand, prepare for the right-hand turn that swings you onto the straight, brings you up towards turn 13. Has Reynolds got a good run? Has Porter got a good run? And what is the 35 of Kinsella going to do? Reynolds is going to get a little bit of overlap here going into turn 13, so Kinsella will have to give him some space. He'll be compromised on the exit here. Hold your breath. And he lets him through, but he had to get back on the gas real fast. Switcheroo, is he going to send it back down the inside at 14? Not quite. Thought about it. Had to tuck back in very, very late in the piece.
So this is it. A couple more corners to concede. 16 there at the moment. This will go straight down under the checkers. This is where they'll be looking at next. The checkered flag is awaiting.
Porter's going to get second here because it's if he can hold on to it. No, he's just not quite able to go deep enough under brakes into 17. Maybe get him on the switchback, get down on the inside for turn number 18. It'll be a Reynolds victory. He's got a clear margin. Porter has emerged into second place. He got great drive out of 17. He will emerge with second place and get that to the line. So Kinsella demoted to third in the last couple of corners and was under siege from Reynolds and from Porter all the way. Great racing between the front three. 0.8 of a second covers them at the end of the day.
That's really high-class Formula V racing right there for Heat 2.
That's outstanding.
Brilliant stuff.
Here's Matt Pearce.
Geez, what a meeting he's having. He
is having an outstanding meeting. He's up to turn 14 now. So he is currently on the running order. We're just looking for him overall. He is 26th on the road outright. Stephen Butcher, the next best of the 1200s, is in 30th.
Gee, got some serious pace. You would expect Steve Butcher coming into this national championship to be the one to catch, but Pearce has put the writing on the wall nice and early here.
Yeah, the Pearce Plumbing 37 has been going outstanding this weekend, so he has definitely put the hammer down. It's been a great Saturday for him, and he swings into the last corner here and will drive up the hill to the checkered flag for his second class victory of the day, not just the round, but the day. 2 from 2 for Matt Pearce. Great job by him. And looking at the margin all the way back to Stephen Butcher, you'll start to see him probably emerge over there. He is, the blue car just emerging over the back of the shot there. So he'll be home in second place in the class. He actually got to 29th at the end of the day. Michael Lloyd looks like he's had a bit of a torrid run over the last couple of laps. He's actually done a 2:23 in the 1600 there in the last couple of laps. And Matt Bielek right behind Stephen Butcher in 30th place there. So same top three in the 1200s as it was in race number 1. A little bit different at the front though in 1600s with Reynolds squaring the ledger with Kinsella in terms of the wins so far this weekend.
So there's our official results on screen there. Dan Reynolds, Curtis Porter, Michael Kinsella, Alex McDonald, Simon Pace, the top 5. Corey Ogden, great job again. Andre Curran, Aaron Pace, Heath Collison picked up a couple of positions there. Alex Hedman inside the top 10. So big field will run through Alex Beswick, then Ash Clifford, Ben Foreman in the South Australian competitor there, then Matt Bowe, Jason Fowler, Xavier Babbage Hockey, Matt Harriott, Rod Liz in the Western Australian, Grant Kelly, Darren Power back there in 20th position. We go back to Cam Peel. Nathan Clifton had a bit of a moment there in that race. Then we go back to Chris Beam, Ed McPhail, Mark Moore and Matt Pearce. We were just talking about winning the 1200 class in Troy Forensico. Reece Rowland, Steve Butcher in second in that 1200 class there. Matthew Bialek also back a little bit further than the 64 car. The South Australian driver a bit further back than probably he would have liked. Go back to Michael Lloyd, who's obviously had some sort of issue too. Then we go back to Ken Ray, Adam Henderson. Good to see got to finish the race there. And then Rob Vile, Rich Gray, Peter Butler, Baxter Midwinter, Hugh East, Kathy Lisson, and John Rickstein there in 40th position. And Frank Chessel is tailing Charlie there in 41st position in the Elfin Crusader. He's South Australian driver, no Adam Beswick in that field. Oh, yeah. Take a deep breath. That's a big list.
That certainly is a big list. You've done well there to get through that, Mark. Yeah, the only one, the two that didn't start there, Julian Midwinter, so we'll have to see. That's 2 from 2 that he hasn't started, so probably some more issues for the 66 and the 27 there of Alex Beswick. That was the car that was we saw in race number 1 with its left rear suspension looking pretty average, and it actually turns out it was a suspension failure, so there's some repair work going on down there in the Queensland garage to get that car back out for racing tomorrow. They just unfortunately didn't have enough time between race 1 and race 2. It was only a short 1 hour turnaround. Not enough time to get the job done, but with a bit of luck should be back out there tomorrow.
Well, what a great heat. Some great racing there and plenty to call there. Keep our eyes wet. It's really wide open there. So thanks, Steve, for coming along. No doubt we'll see you again here tomorrow. We'll have a short break. And we've got one more event on our schedule here, and it will be Heat 2 here for Saloon Cars Nationals coming up in a few moments' time. So while we do our recoveries, etc., we'll have a short break, and we'll be back with our final Saloon Cars event for the Saturday.